I was working at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I was a singer with an a cappella group called the Voices of Liberty. Low bass was my voice range. And I joined this group, and I noticed that every single one of the people in this group had a voice. They could sing. Oh my, they could sing. The tenors, they could sing. The first and second tenor. The baritone, great singers. The altos, first and second. Ladies usually, great singing. And sopranos, first and second, great singing. But I want to tell you that when you first join this group, the first thing you have to do is learn how to hear, learn how to listen. It's like the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, H-E-A-R, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one God. And so if we listen, we can hear. If we don't listen, there's no hearing. Now, these people were really, really wonderful. And I had to learn that when I joined a group like that, a cappella, which means no musical instrumental accompaniment, only the voice was the only thing that we had to join together and to sing. And so the song itself became the one entity, became the song, not the singer. And so I remember I was ready to show them that I could do a solo. Well, I was with them maybe 3 months, and I still hadn't had a solo. Well, I mean, the tenors had a solos. First and second tenor, they had a solo. I didn't. The altos had a solo. 6 months passed. The sopranos had solos, first and second. The baritone had a solo. A year passed. I still didn't have a solo. I would come home, smoke was coming out of my ears. My wife said, "What is the matter?" I said, "They don't like me." Now, maybe you have said the same words about your boss, about your pastor, about your rabbi, about the people that you work with. "Oh, they don't like me. They don't talk to me." Well, maybe it's not you they don't like so much as themselves, but here we go. So I was standing there ready to do my solo. And I said, Derek was my conductor. I said, "I'm ready to do a solo." He said, "All right, I'd like you to do the Battle Hymn of the Republic." Now, we know what that song is. It's a great song, great American folk song. It's also a Christian song. Talks about the Lord. And so I wanted to show them why was it that they just took their time with giving me the solo. So I remember the room was the American Pavilion at Epcot. And we would come out in a little semicircle and we would sing. The girls would blow the pitch pipe and then the soloist would come out and sing. So I'm ready now. So soloist, now there were about 300 people there and my director sat right there in front of me. And I said, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to show them that they made a mistake by not giving this soloist a solo. After all, I was the soloist." Perhaps you too can understand what I'm saying. This thing in your heart, perhaps you can. So I walked out. There were all these people here, and everybody, of course, knew the song. And the group behind me, they were going, "Lou, Lou, 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 Lou," something like that, but much prettier. So they blew the pitch pipe, "Lou, Lou," and I stepped out. "Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord." And I began to melt. Perhaps you too can identify with this moment. I forgot the words to the song. Everybody in the room was ready to hear those words. After all, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, everybody in the room knew the song. My group behind me, they were "Lou, Lou, Lou, Lou," and they thought it was very funny that I had forgotten the words. So they couldn't really sing Lou. They could not sing and laugh at the same time, and they were laughing. Oh, they thought it was so great. And I was humiliated. I was devastated. And do you know, you can't be humiliated if you're humble. And I stood there, humiliated, devastated, horrified. I stopped. It was over. My director was feeding me the words. I ran in the back, hid from everyone. After a while, the group came back. They said, Jonathan? That was really great. And I said, please. Derek came to me and he said, Jonathan, it's okay. It's all right. You did fine. I said, no, Derek, I did not do fine. Furthermore, Derek, I am not to have another solo as long as I live. I am not a soloist. And he looked at me for a long time. He said, Jonathan, now you're a soloist. Now that you remember what you had in mind, now that you know that you're not that which you think you are, you can become that which you have never been, the soloist. There's only one soloist in our lives. His name, Yeshua. He's the great soloist of things in our present, our past, and our future. Yeshua, Abba, He is the one that will take you to one place and to another. You need to just worship Him. You need that touch from the Master's hand. Oh God, God of our fathers, I just pray right now that you would take our desire for self-worth and put it into something a little more valuable, and that is your worth for us in our lives. That the Lord would touch you and clean you like you were that old violin. That the Lord would actually let you become the violin, the soloist, the essence of the song from which you have become, really. There's only one thing we can do, and that is to pray and to look toward heaven for His help on a continual basis. Many a man with life out of tune, battered and scarred with sin, why, that was me, is auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd. How about you? Have you been auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd? Much like this old violin. Remember the story. Remember the story of the battered, broken, out of tune violin. And by the touch of the Master's hand, it revived that violin into something sweet and melodious. The Master comes forth and the foolish crowd can never quite understand the worth of a soul and the change that's wrought by the touch of the Master's hand. I would invite you to come through this area of your life. Come with me, that you might call us, that we could pray with you, and that we would come directly into your life with the prayers of the saints, that you would be strengthened and come forward. People cheer, you know. Some of them cried, we don't understand what changed its worth. They're going to look at you and they say, what happened to him? He's so different, like they did with me so many years ago. Now I stand before you, retuned, a little bit shined up, and ready to play, ready to sing. How about you? Are you ready to give your life to do what God has ordained you to do? Perhaps you don't know what that is yet. You have to be still and let Him know that He is God. God bless you, and till the next time, shalom.